Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to tell you about some of the assertions like HTTP Status Code Assertion, Response Time Assertion, and the third one is the security assertions. So in my previous tutorial I have told you about contains, not contains, and SOAP response assertion. So the fourth assertion is the HTTP status code. So status code is nothing but if you see the response, it is giving the status code as 200. So basically there are different kind of status codes like 200, 302, 404, 500. So just Google HTTP status code, you will get a bunch of material on that just to understand. So I'm going to make sure that for this particular request I am getting the response as 200. So quickly we'll go ahead and create an assertion for that. Go here, compliance status, and click on valid HTTP status code, add say 200, and click on OK. If you see here, the assertion got passed. Suppose if you give the status code as 302 and click on OK, then it will be failed. So you need to make sure that it is having proper value in it. So I'm going to add assertion, click on OK. So this is how you need to validate the HTTP status code. The next assertion I got on row is the response time assertion. So if you are seeing at the bottom of this page the response time it took to return back to get the response back from the endpoint is 626 milliseconds. So you can consult with your performance engineering team just to make sure all the web services are within the SLA. So the performance engineering team will give the standard SLA for all the web services as per the organization standards. So just get the details from them, or you can check with your technical team on what is the maximum response time or SLA for getting the response, and you can add the assertions for those seconds. So just I'm going to add a response time assertion, so it will be SLA, response SLA, and by default it is mentioned as 200. If I give it as 300 and click on OK, still it is failing. Why? Because the response time it took almost 627 milliseconds. So just I need to make a 630 and click on OK. If I do that, the response SLA will get passed. So this is how you need to measure the response time SLA. Basically you can work with your performance engineering team in order to get this SLA details because it depends on the attribute and the network configurations as well, the response time. So just make sure to consult your performance engineering team and technical team before inserting this assertion, because I don't want your test case to be failed every time. So the final assertion of this tutorial is the security assertion. So security assertion is nothing but the response from the response what you got. If you say okay, let me explain with this kind of scenario. So if you are logging to an application and there is a unique session ID for your session ID is just an example I'm taking, but don't go with the topic, just I'm explaining it theoretically. If you don't want to expose the session ID of your user in the response publicly, that means if I'm hitting the endpoint, it will not publicly expose the security token. So security token is nothing but your session ID only. Just to ensure that it is not exposed publicly, that means it is not shown on your response, we can add a security information exposure token. So just add a token. Token name is session ID. Click on OK and enter the description. The description is going to be something like 1 2 3 4 5 A B C D. Click on OK and OK. So there is no token with ABCD 1 2 3 4 on your response, and there is no token name as well got exposed on the either on the header or on the response. So we are good with that. So we can make sure that there is no security threat because of this web service as well. So that's what it will basically do. So in this tutorial I have covered 3 assertions: HTTP status code, response SLA, and sensitive information. Till now we have covered almost concept of 6 assertions. In my next tutorial I'll explain you about the XPath, because that is the most important one. Till then, bye bye.